Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brilliant Shadows. So, man, I don't even know. Prude got us, and we talked to her, and then we talked to Hector, and now we're all confused, and now we're going out looking for students to help figure this out with the mark. I don't know what's happening, but I guess we'll figure it out. So, Hector doesn't know why he's got to come with us. Well, Hector, I'm sure we're about to tell you why.
Mostly because you were rather clear in your desire to experiment on other students.
Oh, God. Also, that horse, I don't love. I get that we're walking forward, but I don't like just the obelisk horse that we're looking at.
I am not a student anymore. I'm a graduate. The other in that sentence is incorrect.
That is what concerns you?
Do not trouble yourself, Zachariah. As long as Mr. Warlock is with us, there is no risk of him misbehaving.
That's fair. Please, these horses, I can't do
I'm
it.
not misbehaving. This would hardly be the first time I've conducted such experiments.
Stop saying stuff like that.
Yes, we know. Those experiments were never sanctioned either.
That's not good, dude.
Not to mention that Mr. Warlock will require quite the number of mages to replicate a pairing ritual. Even if you had some of the most powerful mages to have ever attended, you would not have the power to simulate the yearly pairing ritual. There is a reason that we only perform it on an annual basis. We lack unpaired students who might have wished to participate, and we can't simply offer you students ill-prepared to graduate.
Nonsense! I cannot believe the spell is so limited. The requirement is the input of raw power, not number. A pair of mages trained in the task could likely...
Zachariah reared her horse and turned it so that she might meet Hector with a glare. Instead, she seemed startled for a moment, finding Hector already locked on her with the eyes of a hound with bloodied prey. Zachariah turned away sharply.
I don't care what you think, Mr. Warlock. You do not have permission to conduct your experiments, so for now you will stay by our side.
Ash was surprised to find that she seemed to be the only one to have registered the looks between the two. Even Prude seemed to have had her attention elsewhere. Why is literally everyone else on a horse but him? These horses are upsetting me. Although our horse looks really good, I gotta admit.
I must agree with my wife on this.
Zachariah smiled fondly at Luciana. The expression seemed alien on her face. I mean, look, maybe you weren't so rude about it. Maybe we'd be cooler about it. Although, Hector, you are coming across real creepy, man. Her own eyes fell on Hector, and she found herself suddenly facing down those same eyes. Blood became needles of ice in her veins. The frost in his glare melted into a warm grin. It had only been heartbeats, but she still felt it. Which had it been? That animosity? There was something wrong with that man.
So, what are we hoping to find?
What are we?
I believe these two are of a mind that there's a paladin who has been training in secret in a nearby village.
Interesting. Also, why are you the only one not on a horse?
That is more or less accurate.
I have another question for you, Heck.
Is it going to be the horse thing?
What is it?
Why aren't you riding a horse?
Right?
Oh, Heck hates horses.
That's fair. I'm not a horse fan
As long as he
either.
can keep up, Hector is welcome to do whatever he pleases.
You want to be a soldier, boy? You best learn to ride. An army cannot be expected to wait on your fancies.
Magic can make up for that, hopefully. Hector did not bother to fire a glare at her this time. Instead, he took a deep breath, lowered his gaze, and broke into a hard run. He outpaced the groups in moments. Ash felt her jaw drop, but was quick to clench it shut. He was fast.
What is his deal with horses?
Oh, I don't know. He just mentioned it to me while the handlers were preparing Arcturus.
That boy has been afraid of horses since the day he arrived.
Horses like him about as much. There's something to be said of a man who cannot earn the trust of a horse.
Sorry, man. Horses are not... Don't make me have my horse rant. I've been around horses. I've ridden a horse. I don't know. There's a big fuss about horses. I am not a fan. I'm sorry. Like, they're as cool, but like the whole... I don't want to ride one. I just don't. It can do its thing. I'll do mine thing. I don't care. Ash did not disagree. All right, Ash, I'm sorry. We're normally of one mind. Go into town or stay with the heads and Prude. I don't, what, this doesn't feel like a natural decision we were making or leading into. I guess I don't care about them. I care about Prude. Prude's also pretty, like, talking about Hector all the time. I don't know. It's a hard choice. Going to, what would I do in this situation? I think I just want to kind of get away from the scenario altogether, so I think I'm going to go into town. Ash flicked her reins, her horse neatly shifting to a harsh gallop. She followed Hector as he continued his brisk pace toward the village, leaving the rest of their group far behind. Oh, I didn't realize we were following him. He was a man on foot outpacing a horse. Zachariah was right. Something was off about him. The ride to the village was brief, and Hector was already busy speaking with the villagers.
I am sorry to hear about your loss. Thank you for your information.
Did you find something?
Oh, hello, Ash.
Well?
Maybe. Apparently an old man died the night of the ritual. His son was a mage. A full mage, so don't get your hopes up there. If there is anyone in this village who may know anything, it will be him.
What in the shadows is a tiny village like this doing with a mage?
Huh?
It doesn't seem odd to you that a village as small as this one would warrant a full mage? I mean, I would understand a hedge mage. Perhaps a student who failed their exams.
Is that what that is?
I believe the mage in question is merely visiting. The man who died was the father and had been ill for some time.
Oh.
Hector looked into the distance. They could barely make out the approach of Prude and the heads.
Let's go. I'd like to look into this more before they get here.
Okay, but why?
Hector did not give an answer as he marched towards a cottage in the distance. With a grimace, Ash followed.
You really need to work on your conversational skills.
Huh?
I was referring to how you just ignored my question.
You asked a question? I'm sorry, I must have been lost in thought.
Apparently.
Hector gave no response.
What exactly is on your mind?
Worst case scenarios.
A chill seeped down the length of her spine.
Perhaps keeping your thoughts to yourself is for the best then.
They arrived at the college. As they arrived at the cottage, Ash was surprised at its condition. The soil surrounding the mountain was exceptionally rich for farmland, and the presence of the mountain itself provided the region a degree of stability most could not afford. She would not be surprised to find a fine cottage. This place was not fine, it was lavish.
Wow, a little more than I expected.
The son,
Hector paused.
or daughter, is inside. I forgot to inquire as to the identity of the mage.
Oh, well. He was still ignoring her.
As for the appearance, I suspect that their child sends home money. Most mages make a very comfortable stipend.
Oh, nice. Or perhaps not. Hector rapped on the door. Ash heard something from within, and a moment later the door opened.
Can I help you?
The man did not have the look of a mage, but they be they necromancer or paladin.
Yes, hello. I would like to ask you about the person your father saw the night he died.
Really? Are you serious?
Placing a hand on Hector's shoulder before he could speak, Ash pulled him back as she stepped forward.
Yes, I'm Ash, a necromancer. This is Hector, of the same profession.
Hector opened his mouth to speak once more, but Ash spoke first, forcing her words before his own.
Hector informed me you are a mage. May I ask of your speciality? We are hoping you might provide something in the way of information about the identity of who we saw.
They call me Marte. I'm no mage, though you wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. My older brother is, though if you're looking for him, he's already gone. My father was a bit delirious when he passed. But that figure in the dark, he was convinced it was death itself coming for him. I don't think death is the type to trip and stumble into the mud, though. I might not have been able to hear them, but the way they thrashed afterwards, you could tell their mouth was foul with curses. just don't think that's the kind of demeanor Death would have.
I mean, that's presumptuous, but, also valid points.
So you saw them?
Not much more than a cloaked traveler in the night.
What color was their cloak?
Gray, why does it matter?
Can you give me any more details?
I was kind of busy with my father's final throes. No.
Ash was a bit shocked with the ease with which the man spoke of both Death and his past father. Only his most recent response contained any hint that the conversation may have bothered him.
In such case, I will depart, thank you.
Follow Hector, speak with Malta. I'll speak with him alone. Now, why not? Ash considered following Hector, but discarded the thought as she turned back to the man. There was something strange about him, and Ash wanted to know his story, particularly his comment about how he might be mistaken for a mage.
I'm sorry for the rudeness of my companion. He's socially crippled.
Not the first one I've met. Reminds me a lot of the kobolds. Nothing ruder to a kobold than an inefficient conversation.
Kobolds?
Ash genuinely had no idea what the man was talking about.
They live a long way off. Months of travel at least. But they're nothing compared to the Yetis of the far mountains, or the Harpies of the Sea Spires, even farther than that. Both are far easier to reach than the swamplands of the kobolds.
Ash was now convinced that the man was making jest of her.
Oh, but none compared to the oddities of the gnomes.
Malta cocked an eyebrow.
You've met gnomes?
Or perhaps he was just mad.
Never mind. So your brother is a mage?
Yes, he's a paladin. He was with my father, desperately trying to extend his life. Age is a wound beyond the healing of any paladin.
And you?
I travel, mostly.
A light flashed across the man's eyes.
But I have a bit of magic of my own.
Retreating into the depths of the house, the man quickly returned holding a bottle with a metal rod down the center of the strange liquid swirling within.
I present to you lightning in a bottle.
Oh, very nice.
Let me answer the question in your head for you.
The man reached into the satchel at his side and withdrew a tiny bottle with a metal cap, wiring running through its center. He presented it with the mannerisms of a performer, waving both it and the bottle before her and then touching the cap to the metal rod. The room suddenly lit with a brilliance that made her immediately question whether he had lied before about being a paladin.
Incredible! What type of magic is this?
No magic, just simple electricity. The light bottle is something I had crafted for me by a master glassblower. I developed a number of other uses for bottled lightning, but I find this to be the most impressive.
Incredible that this can be done with no magic.
You'd be amazed at the things you can do without magic. There was a time when man was without magic. The ruins are such a wonder that I question if we were not better off without it.
Please, don't tell me you're one of those who believes in the dawn of magic.
I do. I've seen a lot more of the world than most, and some of the things I've seen make me think that maybe we didn't always have magic.
Ash rolled this over in her mind.
Thank you, Malta. It was a pleasure to meet you, but I should be going.
The pleasure was all mine. Take care, Ash.
He led her out the door, and Ash made her way to find the heads and Prude.
You have no business dismissing me so easily.
Mr. Warlock, if you've found nothing, then we have no reason to search further. You will not remain here unsupervised.
I believe Zachariah is correct here. We do not want a repeat of some of your earlier incidents. Please, this is our first village. We have many more to investigate. What are the chances we would find our answers within the first place we look?
You are, of course, correct. My apologies.
The words came out, but his face spoke another story.
I assume you would have already interrupted that dispute, should the rod have found anyone.
You are correct. It is only us here.
Let us move on.
The rod? Is there like a dowsing rod? Ash and Prude exchanged glances as they remounted and slowly turned to their horses. Prude trotted softly, slowly, allowing Hector time to catch her. Ash turned to watch from ahead of the two.
Hey, it's okay. We'll figure this out.
Yes, I intend to. My apologies for my outburst. I am wearing myself needlessly thin, I think. I am not sure how much longer I can keep this up.
Prude's hand fell to his head. He was at just the right height, and she stroked his hair. The two smiled at each other. Ash felt chills go deep down her spine. Something was wrong. She couldn't keep watching this in silence. Ooh, that's another stopping point. What is happening? All right, first of all, something's going on with him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he somehow managed to break our pairing or something, but something's weird about him. I'm not saying he's the bad guy. I'm not saying that. He might not be like sinister like in its truest form, but he definitely has something going on. There's something there. I don't know. Either way, though, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can catch more from me, and we'll keep doing this every day. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.